Gucci is another Daily Opinion podcast with your guy Angelo Young. We still doing the whole switch up thing. I'm about to I guess the topic for this week is going to be, I was just thinking about it. Why do some people get just a ton of money and then just shit it away off of like let's say if you're a millionaire, why would you even do something that might, fuck up those millions of dollars? You worked hard for that money, assuming that you got it, off your own versus getting it from like daddy or, a brother or some shit, right? So it's like you already got these millions of dollars and then you feel like just shitting it away because you want to get extra 50,000 and now you're going to jail. Now you got to pay all this extra money. I don't get it. So, I pretty much asked like TikTok, some of the AIs, and I did a little bit of research myself, and I just found like a few of them that I'm just like, it's just pure stupidity. Like, why even play around? Like, I know for me, they say a smart man learns from his own mistakes. No wise man learns from the mistake of others. There are tens, if not hundreds of thousands of people who have been indicted for fraud in plenty of cases. And you see how like, you might get away, you might get another $3 million, but if you're making 20 million, what's another 2 million to you? Like what really realistically could you buy? Here, I'm actually going to ask, I'm going to see what realistically could you buy with 22 million that you wouldn't be able to purchase with 20 million. Yeah. So it seems like even ChatGPT is like, it's not going to be an everyday lifestyle thing. It's just going to open up opportunities for larger investments or luxury purchases. So it could make you more money, which makes sense. Money makes money, but still, I don't think it's going to be worth it. If you're already living that high on the hog, like in the top, let's see what the top 1% of America even make. Okay, it's actually a larger number than what I thought it was. So the top 1% in America, let me see if this is, okay, this is household income. Let me do the actual, what's it called? Annual income. I guess it's a little bit, I mean, it's better. Okay, so and I'm going to just do the world first and I'm going to do the United States. So the top 10% in the world is $20,000 a year. That's crazy. Top 5% in the world is 35. Top 1% is 70. Top 0.01% is $750,000 a year. And top 0.01% is $7.5 million a year. Those are some big jumps. All right, so in the United States alone, top 10%, $180,000 a year. Top 5%, $340,000 a year. Top 1%, $675,000 a year. Top 0.1% or top 0.1% is $3.2 million a year, and top 0.01% is $15 million a year. So, I memean, there are some serious differences, but again, I like the top 0.1% versus the top 0.01%, 3.2 to 15 million. I mean, it's going to be like the size of a house probably, but I don't think it's still deep enough to, try to finesse and get to, $5 million and risk going to jail. Let's see. But okay, so we at least know like, hey, what I'm talking about here is going to be like the top 0.1% of people or higher. So like that's another thing is that they're already on the toppiest, living life on the hog, probably not worried even about money. They're just worried about how they can make more money. So essentially it's just straight flat greed is what it looks like. But yeah, so just going back, seems like the only difference is that, hey, you can, with the extra $2 million, I'm going back to my previous point of like, if you were to make 20 million, what would you be able to buy with an extra 10% of, your income? Because if you're making 50,000, like 55,000, that could be a huge jump for you. It's only 10%, but that extra $5,000 is going to take you somewhere versus, an extra 2 million. It's like, what else are you going to get? So ask ChatGPT, it said you could get a luxury waterfront home for $2 million. Yes, you could. An exotic supercar collection, 2 to 5 cars, $1 to $2 million. Private jet down payment, $2 million. A large yacht, $2 million. Commercial office building. And these other ones, I feel like they're more just the investment side of things, which I'm like, I don't know if these people are using the money to invest it. Because again, I'm like, the investment is into your life. Like, just don't go to prison. I don't get it. But yeah, some of the investments, commercial office building in some markets, apartment complex, a franchise portfolio, don't know what that is, and the venture capital investments in startups. So So again, keep this in mind whenever I'm reading off some of these people, because it just doesn't make any sense. And this is for $2 million. So yeah, we'll see here. So one of the more famous people that I know, got caught for like tax fraud was Wesley Snipes, convicted of 3 misdemeanor counts of willfully failing to file the income tax returns. He spent nearly 2.5 years in federal prison in PA after avoiding millions in taxes following the advice of anti-tax advocates. See, and I looked at this and I kind of felt bad for him at first, but then I'm also like, you are a fucking star, buddy. Like, get an actual, because look, you can't have advocates for people who are against that particular law if the law is in place, because then you're going to get caught up just like Wesley Snipes did, where they they're trying to tell you, hey, you don't have to pay these taxes, and the law is like, if you don't fucking pay these taxes, you're gonna go to jail. That's kind of like I've talked to I've had some friends or whatever, and people close to me pretty much saying like, hey, income tax is a scam, you shouldn't have to even pay income tax. And then also the thing of like if we're getting taxed on items, we shouldn't also have to pay income tax. And I'm like, yes, that is fair and good, but until there's a law that says like, hey, you don't have to pay this shit, I'm going to continue paying, because I'm not willing to go to jail over some money shit. Because it's like, yeah, until money gets so scarce that I have to just pretty much save it all, like at that point it's time to start shooting folks. I mean, I'm not advocating for shooting people, but I think that's what happens when the king keeps all the bread and all the food and whatnot. Then that means the villagers going to come in and raid the motherfucking castle and take the shit back, and then it's going to go to, it's kind of interesting, because this is off on a different tangent, but if you make like a microcosm of like back in the day stuff, like imagine we don't have like I was going to say Weeble, but stocks and bonds and like all these other ways that money can kind of flow. It's just pretty much like, hey, money is how you eat. Money is how you buy food. And then you see a king and he hoards all the money, kind of like what's going on now. Or I believe it also went on in France. Let me double check this real quick. Yeah, so yeah, I'm a little bit right, I guess, or maybe wholly right. But prior to the French Revolution, the upper classes, which are nobility and clergy, took wealth of the lower classes through legally enforced tax exemptions, federal dues, and the tithing. Top 10% pretty much controlled the majority of the nation's wealth, while ordinary peasants were heavily taxed and faced devastating inflation. Yeah, so I mean, it's kind of what the fuck is going on right now, right? So it's like, hey, we'll let you do it up until we can't fucking eat anymore. And actually, let's see what happened during the fucking revolution. Yeah, them French folks was not fucking around. So many prominent French aristocrats died during the French Revolution, primarily executed by guillotine during the Reign of Terror between 1793 and 1794. While thousands of commoners died, the aristocracy suffered disproportionate number of casualties under the Revolutionary Tribunal. I've heard of tribunal. I've never known it was because of like French shit. But yeah, like it's like, yeah, if me and my kids can't eat, what the fuck is the point of me even trying to live under like rule? Like the reason that we have laws that dictate America is because it's like, this place is supposed to be so great that you shouldn't have to do none of that shit. Now, when it becomes to the point of like, I gotta do this shit or I'm just gonna die in the street, then it's like, oh, okay, yeah, we might as well just go start killing folks. Why the fuck not? We're gonna die anyway. So what do we have? Literally, what do we have to lose? And I feel like a lot of people don't understand that. Because even in today's world, like the most dangerous person is the nigga that only has pride to lose. You know what I'm saying? Like if someone has a gun and then it's like, hey, I don't have money for you to take. I don't have like clothes for you to rob. I don't have literally I don't have anything for you to take from me. The only thing I got right now is my pride. And that's why I think pride is so not necessary, but it's such a common thing in poor communities, I guess. Because what was it, like maybe 3 years ago in Atlanta, this kid shot a homeless nigga. On the subway. They got into an altercation. The homeless guy was just talking to him, and then kid pulled out a gun and shot him. Actually, let me see if I can find that. Actually, no, I stand corrected. This is why I do the whole fact check. No, it was a man shot a 17. Well, I don't know if this is the same story. I've been looking around for it, and I found another story of a homeless man getting shot, but I don't think that was the same one. But yeah, essentially 42-year-old gets on the MARTA, 17, or which is just a metro train or whatever. 17-year-olds on the train too. I could not find what the fuck happened. Again, motherfuckers, I don't know. I'm not saying that anyone needs to be shot, so I'm not even gonna say nothing about it, whatever. But yeah, and then he shoots his 17-year-old kid. His kid still survives, so that's good. But he was like a star, I don't know, football or track athlete or something like that. And I'm not sure if he was able to get back into that position. But, you know, it's just all that to say that story didn't align with what the fuck I was talking about earlier. But at the end of the day, it's just like, you know, people, you never know how someone's going to react to a situation. You could have, here, I just read a story. So there was a guy, he, you know, performs on the street of Atlanta. He's homeless, you know, they call him the Tin Man. He dresses up in like silver or whatever and dances. I've never seen him before, I don't believe. But he's going back home or wherever the fuck he lives if he's homeless. And what's it called? He's crossing the street with his like little buggy full of shit. And I guess he wasn't moving fast enough. So ladies telling him like, hey, keep it moving. And he's like, okay, just go around. So instead of her like going around him, I'm not sure if she had space. I don't know. The story didn't cover that. Instead of going around him, she hits his little cart and backs up and then runs over the cart again. And then she is at a stop sign. I'm hoping that she just couldn't go nowhere. Because again, that's a bold move to just, number one, you fucking up your own car. So again, like just this man telling this lady to go around, she's thinking like, oh, I don't know what the fuck she's thinking. This is crazy. Like this person like in some sort of like mental state. So, you know, he goes up to the car just to yell at her, and then she gets out the car and shoots him in the chest 2 feet away with a gun and kills him. And he sits there and dies, and she just puts a gun on the hood and, you know, waits for the cops to come, probably thinking like, oh, I can call this self-defense. And it's like, no, you can't. I'll never understand that shit either, where people will think that if you incite someone to come attack you, obviously it's not right, but you can't then shoot them. Because like I think Dave Chappelle has a pretty good joke that kind of aligns with it, where he's saying like, yeah, the first time that he made like a ton of money was when he was like 18. He did something for like SNL or some big ass, you know, TV show at the time. And, you know, walking home in DC or whatever with this whole bag full of cash, it was like, yeah, it's the first time I felt like I had a pussy, because it's like everyone wants what I want. They just don't know that I got it. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like if you were to have that bag, but let's say it be see-through and you walk through like a poverty-stricken part of town, like, yes, they shouldn't be robbing you. But if someone comes up to rob you, I think if you shoot them, you probably would get tried as like murder, because it's like you can't reasonably say that you won't get robbed if you're like walking around the hood at night with a fucking see-through bag. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's her issue. But I don't know. All that to say, I don't know why the fuck I start off on this whole tangent. Let's get back to the whole shit that I even started on. So Wesley Snipes or whatever, let's see how much money he had when this whole thing happened. So this all went down in 2008. So apparently he was worth about 30 to 40 million, and he got for 2.5 million. It's like, bro, for taxes, and this is net worth. Everyone says that net worth is wrong, but this is the best I can come up with, y'all. So, you know, give me a little bit of grace here. But yeah, it's just he got $13 million for motherfucking Blade Trinity. That's crazy. I mean, fire movie. I love Blade. I'm happy he came back for the Deadpool shit. But yeah, no, it's just it's crazy. Like 2.5 years for what is this? How much money was 2.7 million to $7 million in taxes? It's like, bro, you're already rich as fuck. Why are you doing this? And now you just wasted 2.5 years where you could have been doing cocaine off some strippers, you know, some put body part here. They'll let you do it. But yeah, Martha Stewart's another one here. So I mean, because I thought hers was just insider trading, but apparently it says Martha Stewart was not charged with tax evading, but with securities fraud, conspiracy, and obstruction of justice. So I mean, I don't know. It sounds like insider trading, because it says the 2004 charges stemmed from her illegal sale of ImClone System Shock after receiving a tip from her broker that the CEO was dumping his shares. So pretty much she heard that the tippy toppy of it was dumping all his shares. So she was like, there's probably something going on or something about to be going on. I need to dump all mine. So then she was never convicted of insider trading herself, except found guilty of conspiracy, obstructing an agency proceeding, and lying to federal investigators. So yeah, she went to jail for 5 months, fined $30,000. I'd love to know how much she actually like even saved from doing this. Yeah, so she effectively saved $45,673 when she was worth fucking ridiculous. She was a billionaire, y'all. Straight billionaire. This is in 2001. She was a billionaire in 2001. That's absurd. Yeah. After the scandal became public, the value of her holdings fell dramatically from $591 million in Martha Stewart Living Omni Media stock to about $162 million. Her worth is generally estimated to be around $1 billion. That's fucking crazy in 2001. That's insanity. Yeah, and so like I'd like to even know what this is worth to someone that's making like, let's say 10,000. My bad, not 10,000, 100,000. Makes it a little bit easier. Well, shoot, let's see what the average person makes in the United States, and then we're gonna do it from there. This is fucking crazy. Okay, so this is assuming that we are correct in Martha Stewart having $1 billion and she only avoided $45,000, $46,000 on the high end. Okay. So that avoided loss represented 0.00457% of her $1 million net worth. If the average American experienced the same proportional financial impact relative to the $62,000 annual income that normal Americans, so pretty much normal, the average American makes $62,000 every year. So the percentage that Martha went to jail for 5 months for would be the equivalent of $2.83 for the average American. That ain't even a motherfucking, I don't even know, bag of chips. I don't even know if a bag of chips, the little tiny bag of chips at the gas station maybe, but you're not getting no bag of chips for $2.83 at Walmart or nothing like that. Maybe off brand. I don't know. I don't get that shit. But yeah, it's insane. It's like it's just greed to the umpteenth percentage. Like, because also the thing is like, shouldn't Martha Stewart's like broker go to jail for even telling her that shit? I don't know if it's like healthcare where it's like you can't even say the shit, but I don't know. Yeah, that's some crazy stuff, bro. That's really crazy. Actually, no, the median personal income for all Americans is $45,000 a year, and that would be about $2.06. It's insanity. Here, I'm already talking a little bit over what I wanted to do, but here are just some other quick ones. Ja Rule pleaded guilty to tax evasion in 2011 for not paying taxes on over $3 million in earnings. Let's see how much he was worth. Yeah, this nigga was bold. Like, someone was giving him some really fucking bad financial advice. Yeah. He was estimated to be $5 million net worth. He tried to get off on $3 million, over half of his money. Nigga, you got to do better than that. He served 2 years in prison, and then also I had some gun possession charge. I'm like, nigga, you don't need a gun if you saying that half of your money. No, you fucking around too much. And then also he owed the bank $1.1 million, and he was just bad with money, bro. He needed a better like accountant or some shit, because this doesn't even make any sense. How could you even let somebody spend that much money? I'm like, bro, I'm not letting you spend this money because it's just, you can't make it back. Here, there's some other people on here. I'm not even going to go over them. I want to go after some of the bigger folks, and I'm going to wrap it up. A Texas billionaire, net worth over $1 billion, founder of Reynolds & Reynolds, charged in 2020 with what prosecutors called the largest tax fraud case ever charged against an individual American, involving roughly $2 billion hidden from the IRS. Oof, that's so crazy, bro. It says this case is often cited because he had no plausible financial need to hide the money. It was concealment for its own sake via elaborate offshore trusts in Bermuda and Switzerland. Yeah, he just wanted to get over on people. That's a whole other thing too, is that there are some people that, you know, are in blue collar jobs that they just want to steal. They just want to steal. Like, what's it called? I listened to this podcast, Small Town Murder, and there was one guy, he would just go in and essentially just like, he was an accountant. He was a very good accountant apparently, but what he would do was like he'd stay at a place for like 2 months and then just start stealing from right under their noses, which in my book, I'm like, how is that even possible? Because if I'm like the CEO, I'm like, every week on my desk, or every 2 weeks or something, I'm going to need to get like some report that's telling me what the fuck is going on. And then I'm going to want to look into the bank and make sure we can see what's going on. And I understand there's probably some accountants out there. No, it's not that simple. You can't just pull up. It's like, yes, it is that simple. It's motherfucking money. Like, it makes sense. Pull up the motherfucking reports, and as long as everything's getting paid and that money is in the bank that I think it should be, that what this paper is telling me, which should have all of my, credit and debits, it should be matching up. If it's not, then there's an issue and I need to talk to somebody. That's how easy I think it is. But obviously from the IRS standpoint, it's a lot more difficult, but you know what I'm saying here. And last one here, this guy was interesting. Walter Anderson. One of the more striking cases, a telecom entrepreneur who made hundreds of millions after the breakup of AT&T. In 1998 alone, he reportedly paid just $495 in taxes on a $67,000 income, while actually earning tens of millions that year through shell companies and offshore accounts. He was ultimately convicted in what prosecutors call the largest individual tax. Didn't they say this about the last guy? Maybe this was at that time. This is like in 1998. The other one was like in 2020. Despite the huge headline number, the mechanism was absurdly petty, deliberately underreporting ordinary income by a large margin rather than any complex scheme necessitated by need. Yeah, so he would, again, it's just, I just couldn't understand it. Like, if I were to ever crack $1 million a year, I would be so fucking grateful that I'd want to overpay on my taxes to make sure they don't even want to look into nothing on me. Because it's like, is it really worth going to jail for all? And that's the thing. The government is cool with you fucking over other people. Just don't fuck over the government, because they're going to get you. That's why they say, what's it called? Like, the IRS has like a 90-something% conviction rate. Let me see. Yeah. So for, what is this? Prosecuted federal tax and financial crimes, it's a 90 to 91.2% conviction rate. So if you get caught, you got a pretty high, they got an A+ in sending motherfuckers to jail over fucking over with their money. So I wouldn't play with that shit. And if you want to, hey, that's your life. But I know I'm not about to do any dumb shit like that. If I got millions, I'm gonna sit back and I'm gonna enjoy my millions. There's no fucking way I'm about to go to prison or jail off of some little petty shit. But that's just me. Other than that, everybody, take it easy. I'm about to sign off. Be happy, be healthy. Love your family, and I love you. All right, bye.